Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast, the Project Investigation Collaboration, brought to you by the Veritas Project. And who are these two weird guys on your screen? Well, this here is our host and founder of the Veritas Project, Robert Curtis.
Hello.
And I'm lead investigator Todd Boyer, and welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, welcome in everybody.
So it is Memorial Weekend.
Yeah.
And Bob and I are both veterans. Bob was in the Marines and I was in the Army.
Yeah.
And this is not the weekend to thank a vet. This is the weekend to think of those who never came home, right?
Right.
Because the saying goes, you know, all give some, but some gave all. And this weekend is for those people. So keep those people in your thoughts, and we're just going to take a second here, just a quick moment of silence. Alrighty. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate that. Oh, so what's going on in your world, Bob?
Well, not much. Our topic today was kind of Providence because we discussed this movie on the other channel, on our other feed on this channel. So it was kind of funny that this came up in the news that same week. So I thought that would be a good topic for us to cover.
Yep. So Bob and Angie actually do movie reviews, and they as soon as they come out, Bob and Angie are all over them.
Yeah.
So they just did the end of the new Annabelle movie.
Oh, this is the creation was the one we did where they created the doll.
Gotcha.
It's an older one.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad. So, but the new movie, when's the new movie out?
It's not until like September, I think. It comes out right before Halloween.
Oh, okay. So I had
they want to hit streaming in Halloween so they can get the big money.
Right. Absolutely. So, but they just covered the whole Annabelle thing. So
yeah,
that's interesting. So that's going to be our topic tonight. But I did want to put out there that last Thursday we did hit 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
And today we have 10,963.
Yeah.
10,900. We are like this close to 11,000.
Right.
And it's only been 9 days.
Yeah. And
we have been going up 100 a day.
Our engagement is up a lot. We have lots of comments, lots of likes.
It just seems like
it's like over 400, which is right where we need to be.
And it just seems like since we hit 10K, they're like YouTube's pushing us out there.
Yeah, that's nice.
So
we had that one guy who was starting trouble with us in the comments. He said too, he's like, "You guys landed on my FYP. That's why I came in here." Blah blah. I'm like, well, so we should be punished for that. That what I mean? Scroll on. You know what I mean? Like I don't get it. But
is this the guy? Which one is that? Is that the East-West guy?
No.
Oh.
I think I have a suspicion that they might be the same person because they're the same level of intelligence is there. But this guy says that we have an extinction level event on this planet every 11 to 22 years. That's what he said.
I did not see that one.
And I said, that's impossible. He's like, but it does happen. Like, but it can't because I'm 50 years old. So that means that I've been extinct twice already.
Right.
Like, wow, dude. Okay. And then he says he gets all of his sources from where everyone should get their source, from Aristotle. And
that is the dude.
Right.
That is the dude because he used the same line on me. And that is the same dude.
I said, Aristotle died in 328 BCE. Bro, there was no magnets. They had no idea what a magnet was in 320 BCE.
It's the same guy. Oh
so he doesn't know that the Earth is magnetic if he didn't know what a magnet was. Right? Don't smoke your breakfast, kids.
Oh my goodness. So I need this. Sorry. It's not an adult beverage, it's energy drink.
Yeah, one of my things I used to pride myself on, you notice I said used, is that I would read all of the comments and reply to every single person, and in the inner fibers of my soul I am exhausted with trying to tell the same story over and over again to people that have the intelligence of a goldfish. And I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not gonna,
Hey, I'll tell you what, a lot of them celebrities do not look at their own comments.
I'm not doing it
They do
anymore.
not,
People, I'm going to go move into a missile silo in South Dakota and just weld the door shut.
There you go. Live from the missile silo.
Right.
So, you guys did watch, the older Annabelle and did the review on it.
Yeah.
And we have seen recently, and this was actually sent to me by Kim, and Investigator K actually sent me a message. It's like, hey, you should touch on the Annabelle stuff.
Yeah.
So we were going to do how to set up a paranormal investigation, but I think we have enough here with Annabelle because you guys really know the history of it.
Yeah.
And
we're going to talk about the real history, not the movie history.
Yeah, the real history.
Right.
And so the things that are currently out in the news is Annabelle is on this tour called Devils on the Run tour. Yeah. And so she was in Louisiana, and then 3 days later, this historic building burns down. This historic plantation burns down. So everybody's like, oh, Annabelle. And then also they had 10 prisoners, violent prisoners, escape from prison. And then there was another fire who someone pointed it out to me, and I looked it up, but I could not find the same information today that I found this week. So there was also a house fire in the area that actually used to belong to a voodoo priestess. The house was actually built on the foundation that her house used to sit on.
Oh, right.
So that house actually burned down on top of it.
Right.
So everybody's like, Annabelle is causing all this trouble in Louisiana.
Right.
Right? And so, everything's going on with Annabelle. And as of currently, we just saw a video literally moments ago, saying Annabelle is safe and sound at home.
Well,
but
that's kind of a twist. I don't know if you know who's running this Devils on the Run tour or Devils on the Road tour.
Well, isn't it their son?
No, Ryan Burrell.
Okay, so who's Ryan Burrell?
He is the host of an old TV show called Paranormal State.
Oh, jeez.
And that show got taken off the air because he had a substance abuse problem.
Right.
And he set up a tour to go around and do Paracons, right? Took all that money that they gave him and left and never did any of the Paracons. So then, like all celebrities who fall into this trap, he went to rehab and said it was the drugs that did that, so you can't have your money back.
Wow.
So now he has cleaned up his act. He's a better person now, and he started the Devils on the Run tour. So part of this thing is that they take these haunted objects on the road, and the big hook is the Annabelle doll is there.
Right.
So
you can give me a radio.
Fast forward, the Annabelle doll from the tour goes missing in between New Orleans and San Antonio, or after San Antonio on its way to Chicago. The guy who actually is a part of the group, the Nesper group that has access to the museum, goes in there and says, yeah, she's not missing. She's here in her cage where she's always supposed to be. And everybody's like, oh yeah, she's not missing. Like, hey, dummies, she was in San Antonio, not in Connecticut.
Right.
So if she's sitting in her box in Connecticut, that means that was a fake doll that they were taking on tour. And someone swiped the fake doll, not Annabelle, who is still sitting in her case where she's always at. So that adds a whole nother wrinkle to this whole situation. So is it really Annabelle that's on the road, or did they send Annabelle home, or what? Who was on tour then? Was it the real doll, or is it one of the lookalikes? Because we know that there are many lookalikes
especially,
that they have,
especially the ceramic one from the movies,
right?
Because they use a totally different doll in the movies,
right?
Because it's a Raggedy Ann doll in real life.
The real
Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll,
right?
Which I don't understand why they didn't use a Raggedy Ann doll.
In our Angie and my review of that, I talk about that because, in my opinion, the Raggedy Ann doll is more terrifying than the Annabelle doll. Because the Annabelle, if you saw the Annabelle doll sitting in a room, you'd be like, nope, and close the door back up. You know, what I mean? Like, it's creepy looking. Its eyes are all jacked up. Like the Raggedy Ann doll is cute and it's possessed by a demon.
Right.
So it's terrifying.
So as a kid, my parents got my sister and I a Raggedy Ann and Andy. And they were, what was that, about 2 foot tall, I guess? They were about a good 2 foot tall. And
as big as
I had the Andy doll, and it was decent sized. And my sister had the Raggedy Ann. In fact, I think my mom still has the Andy doll, like in storage somewhere. So, yeah. So that's my little tie to it.
I had a Raggedy Andy bank when I was a little kid, so that was mine. But I mean, my sister had Raggedy Ann dolls. You know, everybody in that vintage, had Raggedy Ann dolls. But in my opinion, that thing is more terrifying to think that the cute little Raggedy Ann doll is murdering people in their sleep. You know what I mean? Walking on the roof and all the extravagant claims they made about it. Like to me, the Annabelle doll from the movies, the creepy broken porcelain doll, you expect it from that thing. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
you expect creepiness.
Like I'm strapping that thing down before I go to bed. Right? There's no way I'm sleeping in the room with that thing out. But the Raggedy Ann doll is cute. Right, that's the whole. It subverts expectations, right? That's why it's terrifying, because it's a cute Raggedy Ann doll. It's got a knife behind its back or something. You know what I mean? Right. That's scary. So that's what, in my opinion, they should have used the real doll. But
exactly, or a replica of the real doll. Right. I mean, but here's the thing. So Ed and Lorraine Warren were like the Taps or the. What's the paranormal? They were the big paranormal group of the 70s and 80s.
They were the ones that were on TV.
They were the popular the popular people.
Hans Holzer was the guy who wrote books about the paranormal, and he was the paranormal guy. And the Warrens were like the TV people. And Hans Holzer could care less about it. He was on Johnny Carson, he was on that stuff, but he mostly did research and wrote books. Like, he is the legit 60s and 70s paranormal guy. So, the Warrens are more of a entertainment.
So the Warrens had this doll.
Yeah.
And they have it locked in a glass case in their museum with specific instructions. Do not take it out of the case.
Yeah. Don't open it.
Do not open this case. Do not let this thing out. It is haunted.
Right.
And Bob knows all about that because Bob's got a haunted radio.
Yeah, I have an extremely haunted radio in my collection of haunted stuff, and I have a couple of other things that are also have spirits attached to them, but they're not as bad as the radio is. Yeah,
the radio, you were saying you saw shadow tentacles and everything, and
it was bad. It was bad enough that I rented a storage unit to put it in.
Right.
So if that gives you an idea of of how bad it was.
So go ahead and go through the story and the original story. And
well, one of the nurses, there was 3 nurses that were roommates, and one of them had got this Annabelle doll. I don't remember if it was or the Raggedy Ann doll. I don't remember if she got it from her parents or it was a gift or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the backstory on the doll is they think that either someone had done a demonic ritual and tried to use the doll as a vessel in the ritual, or something happened. Anyway, there's a demonic attachment to that doll. And when it was in these people's apartment, crazy stuff would happen. The doll would move. They would hear footsteps through the house at night that sounded like the doll, like the little, soft padded feet of the doll running through the house. It was never in the same place 2 nights in a row. Its position moved. If you would turn your back on it, it would be looking in a different direction. Like, it was just freaky. So they contacted the Warrens and were like, hey, we have this thing and we've thrown it away multiple times. It comes back in the house, it's just, we want to get rid of it. And Ed was like, we'll take it and put it in our occult museum, we'll lock it away so that it can't get out, because that room is sealed with the blessing from the church, so it's like locked in there. So then that's what they did. They took the Annabelle doll and put it in their museum. Because it's a cute, Raggedy Ann doll, whenever someone would go to interview the Warrens and they would walk through there, they would naturally grab your attention, because it's in a gigantic
in a glass
case, like a phone booth, looking case, but it's big. Because the old Raggedy Ann dolls were big. They were as big as they
were like 2.5 feet tall.
Yeah, they're big. It's not like the modern Raggedy Ann doll is like this, sitting down. Like, these are like the size of a child anyway. And it lives in its little box in a rocking chair, and it has a devil card from the tarot deck on it, and there's a bunch of different seals and stuff so that the Warrens could tell if somebody messed with the case. But that's basically where the actual, like, legit artifact lives. You know, the movie one is totally different. You know,
obviously the Warrens have passed on.
Right.
And their son now runs that museum.
The son-in-law.
Son-in-law.
Yeah.
Runs that museum, and he's probably not nearly as much of a believer as they are.
No.
Right? So the possibility of the real one actually going out on tour is actually there.
Right.
Because, you know, they may... He's like, yeah, what it is. It's a freaking doll. Who cares, you know?
Damn, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? So,
but I do know that Zach Bagans tried to buy it years ago.
Really?
And he made an offer for an obscene amount of money. More, he offered more to buy it than its insurance policy was. And the insurance policy was like $1 million something. So I would be interested to know what that number was. But my first thing that my mind jumped to when they said Annabelle was missing in San Antonio, I was like, did Ryan sell that thing to Zach Bagans?
Well, that's a possibility. I mean, like...
You could buy a lot of drugs with with $1 million.
That's a possibility out there, you know.
Right.
So as of now, like Bob said, we've got conflicting stories that it was stolen. Right. Then we've got stories saying, literally, I opened TikTok and there was a video from the museum saying, hey, Annabelle's back here resting.
Yeah, she's in her case.
She's in her case where she's supposed to be.
Always been, is what he said.
Right.
Like, oh, really?
So what's that? Is it, which one's the spoof?
What's on tour then?
So what's on tour? Or did it get returned and people went, oh, where'd it go? Right?
It was supposed to go to Chicago.
Yeah. So, who knows?
I don't know.
So...
There's a whole lot of...
Yeah, and then the stuff in Louisiana with the fires, it's like, you know, and there's a lot... Guys, there's literally 4 or 5 days difference between from when Annabelle was in Louisiana and these things happened.
Right.
It didn't happen at the same time.
Right.
So there's people out there doing this whole conspiracy that, you know, oh, Annabelle's in Louisiana, you know, things are on fire and people are escaping and blah, blah, blah. But it was literally, everything was 4 or 5 days difference from when she was actually out there.
She had left New Orleans and was already in San Antonio by then. So.
Yeah. So just to cover those, because, you know, Bob and I like a good conspiracy, but, you know, we're gonna debunk before anything.
Yeah. So. And I know, not know directly, but I know of Dan Rivera, and I think he's more of a trustworthy investigator, like an actual investigator, as opposed to a person who goes on YouTube for the, you know,
for the
dude
views.
Run moments, right? So if he heard that and then went down there and showed you the Annabelle doll in the museum, I believe that, right? Because I would think that he's an honest enough person to say, I have access to this museum.
Right.
I'm going to go look. Oh, yeah, there she is right there. See, here's the camera. There she is sitting in her case where she's always been. And now all the people on the road are like, ugh.
Right.
You're not supposed to tell them that the doll's in the museum. We're supposed to be having it on the road.
Right.
Ah.
Yep. So, you know, take it how you want it, guys. Is it on the road? Is it at home?
Is it lost? Or did they take the real Annabelle doll?
And now, where is the museum located?
In Connecticut.
In Connecticut.
It's in their house, and that's why the museum got shut down in the first place, because it's not zoned as a business. It's a house.
It's a house.
So they were running tours through the museum after the Warrens passed away, and they would do it by invitation only. But it's zoned as a house. It's not zoned. So people in the neighborhood were mad, because they'd come home from work and there'd be 60 cars in their block.
Right.
Like, this residence isn't zoned. You got a 2-car driveway.
Right.
You can't have 60 people come over, you know, and see your haunted artifacts, because you're blocking up the entire neighborhood with all this.
Right.
So I can get behind that.
So that's a brief story of Annabelle and the conspiracy.
Annabelle on the Run.
Yep, Annabelle. There you go. And that's the name of the podcast, Annabelle on the Run. Yeah. So there's the brief history of it, the breakdown of it.
Yeah.
And, the conspiracies that are going around right now. It's just junk, guys. Don't believe it.
Yeah, you never know. Until one of them from the actual tour comes out, like you see Ryan on the thing, and he actually makes a statement, or the people who were doing the Devils on the Run tour, the organizers come out and say something, I wouldn't buy it.
Yep. So, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for the support on behalf of Bob, Angie, Kay, Robin, and myself. Thank you for all the support on YouTube. If you're watching the YouTube, like, comment, share, hit that subscribe button. We'd greatly appreciate it. We are climbing 100 new subscribers a day at this point.
Thank you, guys.
Our Polar Shift video has actually moved up in the 6th place of all-time videos.
Yeah.
And climbing. It's only been out 11 days, so it is still going like gangbusters. Don't forget, if you want some merch, Printify. Go to Printify. Check us out.
Is it Printify or something?
It is Printify because it's Shipley. It's the opposite of Shipley. It's Printify. So it's Printify. Check out the Veritas Project and on Printify and get all the shirts and stuff. Bob finally got his shirt washed because after the podcast last week, I made him move it from there to over there.
We put it in the wash.
So it had been sitting here for 2 weeks.
Right.
But so if you want that merch, you can go there and get it. We're on all the other social medias. Bob is RS Curtis on everything and the Real Veritas Project. Yep. I'm Investigator Todd on everything. Don't forget to check out the Discord if you want to send us some information, chit-chat with us.
Yeah.
Check us out on Discord. Also, we still have the bag.
Yeah, nobody sent us their stories.
Nobody sent us anything yet. So send us your ghost story. We'll make a podcast out of it. And right now, whoever sends us the first story is going to win. Like, nobody sent us a story. So that's the way it works. So you get to choose either bag, the little bag or the bigger bag. We're going to fill it with ghost hunter equipment, and you'll get a free ghost hunting kit.
Yeah.
From us.
All you got to do is tell us your ghost story.
Tell us your ghost story. We'll make a podcast out of it. We'll look down the rabbit hole. If you want to send us that ghost story, if you're watching down here on TikTok, you can just message either Bob or myself down. Where am I? I'm down here. You can just message either Bob or I. If you're watching on YouTube, Bob is the Real Veritas Project at gmail.com. I'm investigator.todd.paranormal@gmail.com. Send us your stories. Get them in here. We want to see them. Don't forget, if you follow us and do the $5 membership on Brain Fog. Patreon, thank you. I'm brain fogging. If you're a $5 member on Patreon, you get those postcards every week, which I forgot to ask Robin if she got her. Every month, sorry. Not every week, every month. I forgot to ask Robin. Yeah, there'd be a lot of postcards. Got to ask Robin if she got hers yet.
I can't afford the postage on that.
Right now, we're getting to what, 5 postcards a month? Something like that? 5 or 6? So, yep. Join the Patreon and support us on Patreon. Is that everything? I think that's everything.
I think that's it.
That's everything. Once again, thank you guys for supporting us on YouTube. Thank you for all the new people on TikTok. We'll be hanging around for a few minutes answering questions you guys have on TikTok. And remember,
stay curious
and find the truth, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
See ya.